high school in the 80s, the times of big hair, trapper keepers, living fast, best friends, and demon possession, because that's normal, right? Today we're going to talk about Grady Hendrix, my best friend's Exorcism. This book I had recommended by a few people, saying that this is one of their favorite horror books ever. And so, since it is, spooky month, 'tis the time to read scary books, but I read those all year round. But, more scary books than normal. I decided I would read my best friend's Exorcism. And oh man, what a book. What a wild ride. The 80s nostalgia is for real. The high school nostalgia is for real. I mean, the horribleness of high school and teenagers, because teenagers are awful and kids are just mean to each other. And the pettiness, all the dumb stuff that comes along with being in high school that, you wish you could go back, tell these kids, it gets so much better. If your high school years were your glory days, oh man, I feel sorry for you. Does that mean that I said that? Because high school is dumb. Everyone's just trying to be cool and fit in because they just want to belong. They just want to belong somewhere. But these relationships are so superficial and on the surface that you don't really find yourself till later in life, I must say. I thought this was such a great portrayal of just how stuff was in high school with teenage girls and how they behave. Such an accurate portrayal. Hendrix hit it right on. The book starts out, the two best friends in this, and will their friendship stand the test of time and the test of demon possession? I mean, can you even imagine? What? Satanic panic. Anyway, we enter the book. It is the year 1982. Abby Rivers is turning 10. She's having a birthday party at a roller rink. It is E.T. themed. She goes in front of her class and she puts up a flyer and she's like, everybody come to my birthday. And then a couple days later, this other little rich girl, Margaret, said she's gonna have a party on the same day where people can go ride horses. Abby's all excited for her birthday party and people are gonna come see her at the roller rink and she's gonna skate and it's gonna be awesome. And then no one shows up. But then one girl shows up and her name is Gretchen. Even though Abby's mad that this girl showed up and she thinks she's kind of weird and she's pissed off, and Gretchen gives her a Bible for a present and she's like, what? And so Abby's mom is like, thank Gretchen, thank her for the Bible. And Abby's like, no, I don't want to thank her for a Bible. And so she runs and goes and hides in the bathroom. And then so Gretchen goes in there and then they end up talking and they end up going and skating and then have the best time ever until Abby falls and busts her lip open. But that is the moment that cements their friendship and they become BFFs. As they grow up and go through high school, they actually end up becoming friends with that rich girl who had the party, Margaret. She jumps into the friend circle, her and this other girl, Glee. It follows the story of them and you have your typical things that happen in high school with douchey jocks and the weird kids and all that stuff. And so one day, the four besties, they're all best friends. Gretchen, Abby, Glee, and Margaret. And they decide this one day after, they're chilling on the boat and hanging out. And they go back to Margaret's and they're like, have some LSD and they're gonna do LSD. It's the first time for everyone. They all take their tab and then Gretchen's like, it's not really kicking in. Nothing's happening. And Gretchen's like, let's go swimming. They all go back down to the dock in the back area of Margaret's house. And then Margaret's like, wait, no, you can't go in there. It's low tide. But Gretchen has already taken off and she jumps off the dock and disappears. And they're hauling butt after her. No, stop. And then they all skid up to the end on the dock and they're looking and they don't see her and they're waiting and they're yelling for her and there's no response. And then there's alligators in there and Abby sees something crawl around in the water and slink off to the side and she doesn't think it was her. There's a ton of woods back there. So she thinks that she disappeared in the woods. They don't hear anything and Abby's like, I'm gonna go down there. I gotta find her. So she goes down and she doesn't see her. And then maybe she thinks she saw something in the woods. I don't know. And so she takes off into the woods trying to look for her, yelling and screaming. She doesn't find her, but she comes and stumbles into this area, this clearing area where there's this old little building. And she hears her name. It's a male voice that says her name. It's Abby. And so she gets freaked the F out and takes off running through the woods, meets back up with Margaret and Glee, and she's like, I can't find her. Da 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 da. Oh, and mind you, Gretchen's like all naked somewhere if she's alive, if she didn't die and drown in the river or whatever, the creek. They can't find her. They don't know what to do. And they're like, should we call the cops? No. And then we should still keep looking for her. And then I think they end up going back in the woods later on, like when the sun's coming up, and they find her and she's like wandering around naked and she's like, screw you guys, what the hell, da 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 da. And after this, Gretchen is not quite right. And you think, oh, she's angry and ornery and annoyed, but typical teenage stuff, right? But then she stops changing her clothes and letting her appearance go, and she's breaking out. And Abby drives her to school every day, and she's starting to smell really effing bad. But Abby doesn't want to say anything and doesn't want to be rude. She's starting to say stuff like she hears voices, and stuff is getting extremely weird. No one ever really wants to believe that their friend is possessed by the devil or a demon. Weird phenomena starts happening around Gretchen, and then Gretchen just really starts to become kind of removing herself from Abby's friendship and kind of like growing away, becoming better friends with Margaret and Glee. But then also it seems like she's starting to do stuff to nudge Margaret and Glee into a bad way, one might say. And it all culminates with, eventually, is she actually possessed by a demon, or is she just, going through a weird, rough time in high school and becoming who she truly was? Maybe not. I really enjoyed this book quite a bit. The story was great, the characters was great, the high school experience was true, the 80s nostalgia was awesome, the intensity of some of the stuff that happened, and then the ending. The ending was very touching, which I didn't expect out of it. I even shed a couple tears at the end. If you've read it, like the last couple pages of the book, you're like, oh. And it's kind of like, how strong are your friendships? Who are the people that are still friends with in your life? It's a story of that and those people who are truly there for you. And how rare and beautiful that is if you find those friends in your life that will truly be there for you when things are just terrible and no one else wants to be there. That story hit me in the heartstrings. It was also really scary, and there was some gross stuff that happened in it that I was just like, eh. It was awesome. My Best Friend's Exorcism by Grady Hendrix. 5 stars, baby. If you're a fan of scary horror books, the next video coming up will be another horror-related video. So stick around, check it out. If you're interested in this book, I will have a link down below as well. That is an affiliate link, so a little bit goes to the channel and also goes to support indie bookstores. And if you had fun hanging out, boop that like button, come back, see me again, and we'll talk about more bookish things and weird stuff.